All right, everyone. Happy Friday. It's another episode of Q&A with Alan and Marshall. I'm Marshall Atkinson.
I'm Alan Howe with Easy Way.
And I'm Ron Goodwin with Goodwin Graphics.
That's right. And Ron's here, and we were going to share the stage with him. Somebody's echoing.
Yeah. Ron, you might have to put your AirPods on.
That wasn't happening a minute ago.
It wasn't.
All right. So while we adjust for technical difficulties, so it's Friday, April the 8th, and it's been a pretty busy week. How have you guys been this week?
It's been great for me. I was in Cleveland, Ohio. Can you hear us, Ron?
Am I echoing?
No, we're not echoing now.
Are you sure? I think I hear an echo.
I think it's you, Marshall.
Is it? Is it me?
Yes, it's you.
Oh, that's crazy.
My week has been good. I was in Cleveland, Ohio earlier this week, and in Sandusky, calling on some people that some I haven't seen in a while. And it was just been a good week. People are still busy. So, yeah, it was just a very good week.
All right. Well, I'm going to have to go find some headphones that I've never used. Hold on.
And they're saying they can't hear me. Why is that now? Great. We're having all kinds of issues.
Echo now gone.
All right. Echo's now gone.
Well, I don't know what we did, but we solved it.
Yeah.
I'm usually pretty lucky.
There we go. Yeah. So,
all right. So, all right. So now that we've got past that, so we're welcoming Ron Goodwin today, and we're going to get into all those reasons here in a minute. But we just started our show, and let's say thank you to some people who are watching. And by the way, if you are watching, we would love it if you would share, especially today.
Absolutely.
Because we have some really great things to talk about that Ron's doing, and we want to maximize that impact. And as much people as we can get to watch the show and actually follow through on some things, I think that's going to be great. So please hit that share button. So let's say hey to some folks. Charles is here. Happy Friday.
From New Mexico, Charles.
David Eggers here. Good to see you. All right, let's get past the echo stuff. Richard's here. Cindy's here. She has an online class starting now, so I guess she's not going to be here. She just said hello.
Okay.
Kim Johnson's here from right here in Phoenix.
Formerly from Texas.
Moved here from Oklahoma, by the way. Let's see. Let's get past this.
You can all hear us.
Yes,
Good.
And Peter says hello, Pete and Val from Port Huron, Michigan. Okay,
how you doing, guys?
All right, awesome. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we would love if you have any comments or questions or anything. Remember, this is a Q&A show. That's how we thrive. That's how the show runs, is comments and suggestions and your thoughts. Mm-hmm. So please throw those into the comments. We would love to hear that. So.
Absolutely. Marshall, we want to thank our sponsor also, Graphic Solutions.
We do.
Everything they do for us and we get to do with them. What a great group. So thank you very much, GSG. We're looking forward to another year.
Yeah. And we've got a new commercial coming, but in the meantime, let's play the old one and then we can get into some things.
This is where we dance, Ron, so feel free.
All right.
The right products the right way.
Yeah. So before we get going too far, I want to wish my son a happy birthday. He's not watching, but he turns 18 today.
Wow.
And if you
Do,
watch
do
a
you
lot,
guys remember what you were like when you were 18?
Jack's a better guy than I was at 18.
What were you doing when you were 18, Ron?
I think I was a carpenter in Nantucket.
Yeah.
I was working in a factory, a factory making expanded polystyrene foam.
Yeah.
So, yep.
When I was 18, I was a freshman at Florida State University starting my art degree, and absolutely knew everything, didn't know anything at the same time.
Yeah, I thought I knew everything and was smarter than everybody. So
yeah. So Jack's a good kid, and he turns 18 today, and I'm so proud of him. So just want to throw that out there.
And we've had Jack has been on the show before. So if you watch, we've seen him. We dragged him on once, and if you've been to Shirt Lab, he was at Shirt Lab Fort Worth. So it was great.
Nice.
And he was amazed that everybody knew him already. Knew everything about him. And
Jack, well, I talk about the kid,
and he's going to college. In fall he's off to college. So
he's off to college. We're going to be empty nesters soon.
Yeah, well, I think it's close enough. My sister-in-law, when my nephew went to college, she's just glad to college what she calls in the warm cookie circle, where she can still get cookies when they're warm to them. So a couple of like, so
yeah, all right, and and we want to say thank you so much for everybody who attended Shirt Lab Summit last week. We really appreciate you.
Yep.
It was fantastic. We had thousands of people jumping in from all over. I think we're over 30 countries. And we really want to give a shout out to our sponsors. GSG, of course, is one of our sponsors for Shirt Lab also Easy Way. And then some other people that are actually watching. I see Frank Good in here, from SNS. So thank you so much for sponsoring that and watching. Fabulous content, and it was really fun to really be a part of helping the industry. So appreciate everybody who was any way connected with that. Appreciate you. And then the next thing is big news. SNS bought TSF, T-Shirts of Florida, and they just acquired TSC also. So anything that starts with a TS, S&F is going to be buying you soon, I think. So anyway, so pretty happy about that. I think that's going to be a good acquisition for them. That's actually going to give them some further reach into some other parts of the country. So good job there.
Yeah, that's going to be very good for the Florida market for them.
Yeah,
S&S down there.
Right, and we got some more folks watching. So Charlie's here. Good morning, Charlie.
I want to know, Charlie Talib. Yep.
Josh is here from Oklahoma. Good morning. Mario's here
from Slovenia.
Yep. Happy Friday, Marcia and Allen from Frank.
Frank Good from SNS.
Ryan Bufka's here. Good morning, everyone. At 18, I was saying yes, sir, yes, sir.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, you beat me to it.
Yep.
Peter says, what's the shirt you guys are wearing? We're going to be talking about that in about 2 seconds. Mark says, good morning.
Mr. Saldonic, we were just talking about you.
Yeah, from Florida says, good afternoon, guys. I guess it is the afternoon there.
Yep.
And then Frank says, and a Puerto Rico warehouse. Exactly.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Are we doing a live broadcast from the Puerto Rico warehouse?
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, Frank, can we make that happen?
Hey, Frank, can you help us out there? We'll happily go down there for a live broadcast.
Do a live broadcast out of Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
It might take us a week to set up. What do you think, Marshall?
At least we should do it from the beach.
Yep. Good. Frank's working on it. Awesome.
With a rum drink.
Multiple rum drinks.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So here we go. It's always a good day with Ron. So I kind of skipped through all that stuff to get to the fun part of the show. So Ron Goodwin with Goodwin Graphics is here. So thank you so much for joining us today, Ron. And
my pleasure.
why don't you talk about your shop a little bit, how long you've been in business and what you're all about and all that.
Where you're located? Yep.
So I guess this is the traditional mom and pop shop. There's no M&Rs over there humming away. There's people actually pulling squeegees, and we kind of position ourselves as artisans as opposed to production shop.
Mhm.
So and it started in my parents' cellar back in the early 70s. So it's been a long journey, and we had a automatic machine for a while, and then we figured that we weren't using it enough at the time, so we went back to manual screen printing, and it works. It's a niche. We're a local place, and we kind of have we think we are the key to go-to place. So
yeah. And where are you? So for people who don't
we're
know,
about 20 miles south of Boston, and we're right on the coast. So when you draw that circle around you for your market area,
Mhm.
half of ours is underwater, but it works to our benefit too, that we don't have a lot of local competition, although that's been changed in the last few years. But the Northeast, we have a few snow days every year, and we still enjoy that stuff.
right? And you're a shop where, and we talked about this when you were a guest on my podcast, where you've done business with people, and now you're doing business with their children. You've been around for so long.
And unfortunately, their grandchildren too. Yeah, we have a lot of legacy accounts, and it's mind-boggling when I look back and I go through. So we have original vellums and we have films from
Mhm.
the 70s, and we
Wow.
even have a few that are Rubylith cut
Yeah.
films.
You're not
And,
still using those, are you?
there's a couple of accounts that are still around, and we still use that. We don't use the Rubylith one, but we use some of the older film ones.
Awesome.
But
Man,
what's great is someone will come in and they'll say, I worked at this place in 1982, and did you guys make the shirts for them? And I go over, I pull the positive out, I go, yeah, sure, how many you want? And those are always fun, because
Yeah.
the people they're so excited that we're still around and we're still doing it.
Mhm.
And you're a piece of local history.
Oh, absolutely. I'm like, yeah.
Ron, what's the
Yeah.
what's
I
the-
like to think that.
Ron, what's the town you're in?
It's called Cohasset.
Cohasset? Okay, good.
Yeah, it means long rocky shore.
Right.
So I did.
Nice.
So we got a lot of business from Boston,
Mhm.
because we're a suburb of Boston, and a lot of our business is very local.
Well, it says something about your business, about your culture, where people keep coming back to you for generation after generation. And that says a lot of itself, I believe.
Well, when I started out, there was Cape Cod is not too far away, and there was a printer down in Cape Cod he had factories and 6 different stores, and we both started around the same time. And I used to be like, what is that guy doing? How does he manage all that?
Right.
And then 4 or 5 years later, it all disappeared. And it's in most businesses. What I found out is that most businesses go out of business for poor management, not for lack of work or.
Oh, I'd agree.
It's the fish rots from the head.
Well, a real common problem is we're really super busy, and cash flow is what kills them. And because when we use the money, robbing Peter to pay Paul kind of a thing, where we're not good stewards of the money, and we're not paying our bills, and we're not charging what we should charge up front, by the way. And so what, we talk about a lot about that here. And so what happens is you can be so busy that you fail. and
Yeah.
you just can't get to a position where you can't move forward. And that's just a huge problem. And especially with large corporations and manufacturing and other forms of businesses, they have a giant problem with that. And t-shirt printers also, right?
Yep.
We're not immune. So
I had a situation where the Bank of Boston merged with Bay Bank, and they wanted to give a t-shirt to every employee. And while I was trying to figure out the pricing, it was a significant job. It was over $100,000. And when I was doing my calculations, I realized that I was going to have to borrow money from the local bank to do shirts for a bank in Boston. So I went to the person at the bank and I said, look, this is a situation. But back then the rule was 50% down and 50% when it was done. Thank God those days are gone. But I told the banker straight out, I says, I'm going to have to borrow money from your competitor to do your job. So is there a way that, you can prepay this? And he said, well, if you can promise me you'll have them done in 2 weeks, I'll send the check down today. And it was awesome because we didn't have the capacity to do all those shirts. So I was hiring contract printers. Right. And I remember going to one of them and I said, I need you to do this many shirts for next Friday. And the guy said, well, you have to get the bank to sign off on the first one. And I said, no, the bank's not your customer. I'm your customer. Start the presses. We need to get these done. And he goes, well, I've done jobs like this and you can get in trouble. I said, what kind of trouble? And he says, they don't pay you. And I pull a check out. I said, start the press.
That's great. Well, and that's awesome. I remember in the early 90s, I'm early in my career, and this monster shop went down. I'm not going to say their name, but from what I hear is the employees were there and the bank had it locked up. And the employees are going, how can we be out of business? We're so busy. Yeah. We have so much work. And, that has rang in my ears my whole career going, we can't be closed. We're way too busy to be out of business.
Right.
And busy does not mean a thing. Sales don't grow companies. Profits grow companies.
I was thinking the other day about the E-Myth and, Michael Gerber and how you work on your business instead of in your business.
Absolutely.
Right.
And that's really something that I've kind of embraced over the years.
Yep.
All right, cool. So Frank, by the way, says that he's going to work on us getting on to doing our show at the beach in Puerto Rico. So thank you so much, Frank. We're going to hold you to that.
Absolutely.
Carlos says, nice finally meeting you, Ron. Thank you, guys. Happy Friday.
Carlos is from Sharp Prints in Chicago.
Yeah, thanks, Carlos. Ray's here, so greetings, Screenlings.
How you doing, Mr. Greenwood?
He says, yes, vicious cycle, not charging enough upfront to cover real world costs. The flip side, not efficient enough to change competitive costs.
To charge competitive costs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
So, well, I hope everyone that's listening is making people prepay. I mean, that's the standard of our industry now. And any of you people that are letting people
and Ron, don't you agree? The more that we can get shops to adopt that philosophy, so it's everywhere, the easier it's going to get for people to, our customers to do that. Don't you think?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think it was Mike Mikalowicz, Profit First.
Yep.
And I heard him speak in Chicago. I think it was a Printavo thing, and I changed as soon as I got back from that, and I haven't looked back. And it's wonderful because you look in the bank, you've got money, and you can do whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
It's just you have to be disciplined and not think that money's yours. It's not yours yet.
Right. So the mentality, by the way, is really just about you are not a bank. You're not a bank. You're a apparel decorator, right? So get the money, let them put it on Visa or whatever, right? And then now you have all the money, and even that credit card fee should be baked into the pricing, right? So it doesn't really cost you anything to do that.
And it eliminates all your receivables. It's you've got you've already collected, and it's just such a no-brainer. But we used to run into the challenge where a group like a yacht club or something, they'd order $1,000 worth of shirts and they pay you $500 as the deposit, and then you'd send them the bill for $500. They look at the invoice number, they look at the $500, and they'd say, "Oh, we already paid that." And then you'd have to go back and say,
Right.
"No, that was the deposit. This is the balance."
Right.
And all that's gone. So,
all right. So, hey, let's switch gears. We're here for a reason. Wearing these shirts.
Yep.
So, Ron, let's talk about charitable giving and what that really means, I think, and in a broader context, and then we can get it down narrowing about what you're doing right now.
So I think we all charitable, and we all give to different charities that we respond well to, and but we do it like someone comes in, they want you to sponsor a softball team, or they want the local food pantry or whatever. So, and we've always kind of done that kind of stuff. But
Sure.
back in, I think it was like around 2018 or something, there's a monastery in the next town over that we do work for their gift shop and stuff. But I went and I heard a guy speak who was Jim O'Connell. He was the head guy at Boston Healthcare for the Homeless, which is they're a reputable group that does a lot of work with homeless in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked about he went to medical school to become a doctor, and then he got this job running Boston Healthcare. And they told him your first month you're going to be washing the feet of the homeless. And he was like, are you kidding me? I go to medical school now. I'm washing feet for and the thing that he told the story how he was washing one guy's feet, and the guy looked down at him. He says, "Hey, I thought you were the big doctor and you're washing my feet."
Yeah.
But anyhow, he talked about his journey and doing that, and he's written a book on it, and he does great work, and he's very well known. But I was sitting there listening to him speak at this monastery. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm making t-shirt, I'm making a living, but I'm not doing much in the way of charity. And, there's got to be something that I could do more of. So I developed like that next year, I developed this sock program where we gave out socks, and we kind of, we sent socks to homeless shelters all over America. And it worked out really well. And it was a great thing because I was just using my abilities, knowing the channels to get the socks wholesale, and then basically letting my customers pay most of the wholesale cost of those socks, and then we get them to the different charities. And we did that from I think it was 2013 to 2019. Right. And the last year we did like 6,000 pairs of socks. And that was our goal, to do that. And most of them went to shelters in and around Boston, but also we did ones in Florida, so we did some that went to Phoenix, and some went to California, Washington State. And so that kind of then in 2019, the distributors stopped. I don't know if Gildan stopped making those socks or what. I couldn't get them, so I had to stop doing that pretty much. But to fast forward to now, today, I see on the news about Ukraine, and it's heartbreaking. And you what can you do? What can you do? And you do what you can do. And what I can do is make t-shirts. So, and I first started to make them. It was the premise was just to show solidarity and let people put it on their chest how they felt. And though if there's any silver lining to the situation, which I don't think there really is, but it's that we all agree that this is a bad situation, and the people of Ukraine don't deserve what's happening to them. And so I had not so originally we put the shirts out for $25. So we were thinking we'd have them for $25, and then we didn't really know which charity we were going to give the money to, and then we said, okay, we'll sell them for $20, and people can put the $5 wherever they want. And then the more I got into it and started thinking it through, we came across the World Central Kitchen by Chef Jose Andres, and I said, "Oh, feeding people. What's more important than that?" And people can't wait for food. They need
Yep.
to eat now, and it was just a great. It's a great organization. The more I read about it, they set up kitchens all along the border of Poland, but they also set up kitchens within Ukraine. And they go in and they take over a warehouse and they turn it into a commissary, and they're turning out like real food. They're not giving them spaghetti and meatballs. They give them hot meals, and it's just it's great. So
yeah, it's just fantastic. And what I love about what you're doing, Ron, is the fact that you personally are making a difference.
Yeah.
You're not sitting on the sidelines. You're not just watching the news and bitching and moaning like I am. I'm not doing anything.
You're wearing the shirt.
Well, that's what I liked about it, is the fact that I didn't get a free shirt. I actually bought one for $30, and I'm happy that money is going to feed people. And like what do I need another shirt? I don't need another shirt, but I'm happy to wear this shirt, and I'm proud to wear this shirt because I know that behind this t-shirt is someone who really cares. Yep. And that's really empathetic to another nation that's going through a struggle. And we were talking about this before the show started, the fact that, Putin is Hitler, dude. And we need to stand together and help other people, because what's going on that part of the world affects us. It affects us directly, and, from a personal, psychological, emotional thing, but it also affects us in our pocketbook and what's going on, in this industry. Ukraine, I don't know if you guys know this, but Ukraine is the 6th largest producer of titanium dioxide, which makes anything that's white.
Including ink.
Okay. So that disruption is going to affect us sooner or later.
Absolutely.
But I love what you're doing, Ron, and huge shout out to you. And I was just thinking, having you come on to our little show, I want this to make a difference also. And so if you're wondering what to do, here, I created a bit.ly link because the actual Facebook page is 700 crazy characters. So
characters. Yeah.
Here's how you can remember it, right? And this is not credit for me. It's just my name's on here, but because it's my link, right? But it's 143 Kitchen is Ron's thing. So Ron, talk about what 143 means, and talk about what you're doing, how much money you've raised, and all that kind of stuff, because it's such a fascinating story.
So back 2012, when I started the sock program, I had to set it up so I'd have a Shopify store, so people could do the sock thing without having to come in. And so we set it up, 143 Sportswear, and I did a few there was a local Christmas tree. So I live in Cohasset. It's on the ocean, and lobster fishing is a big deal in this town. So at Christmas, they make a lobster trap Christmas tree out of pile up the lobster traps. And,
oh, cool.
And I contacted them and I said, hey, I'll do a shirt for you guys. I'm going to do a shirt. You guys will get all the profit from the shirt. And that's when we set up the 143 Kitchen. 143sportswear.com. And what happened is my intention was just to help them to fund that lobster trap tree. And when I got the money together and I went to the people who put it together, they said, "Oh, we don't need any money. We're all set. We're just going to donate." So we donated the money to the food kitchen, which was awesome, and it all worked out great. So, but the 143 comes from, there's a lighthouse off the coast, and the pattern of the light is 143. And when we talking about going back to when we were 18, we would go to the beach, and you'd be there with your girlfriend, and you'd say that 143 means I love you. That's the code for I love you. So that's a little local lore, and so so that's where the 143 part comes from.
That's awesome. I love that in your culture that you of your business, and Ron, just since I've known you, just who you are. It is about doing good things. It is about what you do, but also that you were telling us earlier, it's not hard to do this. It's not a lot of heavy lifting either. And can you talk more about that, of how your mindset is on that? As like you said, all we do, I mean, we think what we all do is important. All we do is print t-shirts. It's really, in the big picture, not that good. It's not that big a thing.
So for instance, on this fundraiser, the people can buy a shirt, or they can directly donate through Facebook fundraiser, and that money goes directly to World Kitchen. And I never see, it goes direct, and Facebook doesn't take any funds out. They don't charge anything for that. So what I'm doing, I set up a conduit for people to donate to World Central Kitchen, and so it's almost like there's two tracks. And then the t-shirt part of it is, it's people can buy a physical product and show their support. But if long sleeve Gildan, white Gildan is like $3.50 or $4, and you're taking that $4 and you turning it into a $20 donation to World Health Kitchen. That's like, I could give $350 to the World Kitchen, or I could spend $350 on blank shirts and give whatever that translates into. It multiplies my efforts. Am I making any sense?
And your original goal, Ron, was $1,430, because 143, right?
Right.
And you're over 20 grand now, right?
Right. And we're going for 143,000.
So, all right, people, there it is. Everybody needs to have a shirt.
And
let's get it.
But they don't need the shirt. They don't need the shirt. They can just go on and donate on the Facebook page.
And that's what I did, is I went on and donated. So the shirt here, when we had Ron on the show, I came home from Cleveland and there was a shirt waiting for me from Goodwin. I'm like,
that's because you're a celebrity and you give me lifetime, pal.
Stop it.
But what's cool is the local garden club, which is a bunch of older women.
Yep.
They have board of directors voted to donate $1,000 to the kitchen 143.
That's great
fundraiser, and the Veterans of Foreign War voted to donate $500 to it. So they're incredible. And one woman came to me and she sent me a note. She said, we figured if you're involved in this, it must be a good thing. So we have no problems with donating to it. So that,
and it's always a good day when Ron's
and it's similar to like the back when the COVID thing hit and the people did the shirts for local restaurants and stuff, and they split
Here for good.
Here for good. Yep.
Here for good. And that was great. And that wasn't heavy lifting, because we all know how that worked. They pay $10 and they get $10, and you, if they bought 50 or 100 shirts, you'd have been selling to it for $10 printed anyhow. So it's like, as much as I like to think I'm a big philanthropist. It's not really. I'm promoting it. It's giving the face of my company a facelift. Lord knows I need that. So, and we can all do it. Everybody listening to this right now can do something similar in their marketplace.
Right.
And go ahead, Marshall.
I was just going to throw some comments out there. So
do it.
Tanya says prepay is what we've moved to. Still hard for some, but getting there. Ghost is here from Sweden. What's up, man?
Sweden. How you doing?
Ray says very excellent charity. Food, water, ammunition, go. And Eric's watching. So, by the way, still carrying the coin and making it a good day, sir. By the way, it's this coin. I still have mine from when I met you originally at Long Beach, if I remember right.
Yeah, you've been talking to Mark Bailey
years ago. So today is a good day. Right?
Now, Alan, do you have a coin?
I don't. I'm not so lucky to have one yet.
Oh, I thought I'd given you one at Atlantic City, but I'll make sure you get one.
No, that's okay. But thank you.
Yeah. So this is one of my favorite things, by the way. I have that in my book bag, and so
that's to remind you that you'll never be broke, Marshall. You always have that sterling silver coin that you could melt down.
Maybe I can get a cup of coffee or something with it. I don't know.
It's supposed to remind you when you're having a shitty day that today's a good day.
It is.
Right.
And you know what? I always think, no matter what happens, Marshall and I have talked about this, things that happen in life. I always try to end it with, you know what? I'm still a blessed guy. There's still people way worse than I am. Yeah. Way worse. It has it way worse. So yeah, we have to remember that as we go.
The going gets tough. Just keep going.
Yep, absolutely.
So Ray says, great piece of history. Is it Minot? How you pronounce that?
Yep.
Minot Lighthouse is famous.
Ray Greenwood would know that. Awesome.
That guy knows everything.
He does.
That's great. That's awesome.
He's like this industry's Cliff Clavin. You know?
Absolutely.
My dad used to be in a they were called C something in high school, and one of the things they would do is they'd row a big lifeboat out to Minot's Light and back. It's
a Sea Scout.
Yeah, Sea Scout, right?
Huh.
Mm-hmm. And then Sean's here
from Georgia,
and Dan's here. He's in. Dan.
That's on Dan. Look, Ray, you're sitting on
my bar stool.
From Cheers. From Cheers, exactly.
Exactly. So anyway, so I love the fact that this is going to World Central Kitchen. And we were commenting before the show about how it's really important that people eat, right? And I saw a 60 Minutes episode, it was just this last week, about what's going on in Ukraine and how people are contributing. And they one of the things that they were showing was there was this doctor, and he was talking about how, you know, because Russia has been targeting hospitals, right? That the basic things that people use and consume and do are now gone. So when there's no water, there's no food, there's no medical care, you know, so people who have diabetes or people who have a heart condition or, you know, asthma or, you know, all the things that we normally deal with, and there's somebody there that can help us. Those things are gone. It's a big issue. And just think about how, you know, when we have a snowstorm or a hurricane or COVID, we immediately go to the grocery store. Now there's no toilet paper, a bottle of water, whatever, right? These people have nothing.
Right.
I mean, they're like, and we're posting how crazy it is at the grocery store here, and we get all crazy about it. These people literally have nothing. They're living out of a backpack hundreds of miles away. And and the father, the brother, the son is fighting, and the moms and the grandmothers and the children are left. They moved, they tried to get away, or maybe they didn't. And there's such a huge problem with just feeding people and just basic human needs. And this is what your effort, Ron, is going to.
Absolutely.
And to me, it's just simply amazing. And just thank you. Right. So
Exactly. And you know what? Our industry, I think we don't, and we need to, Marshall, I think you and I need to make a mental note to, abase these people more that do stuff like this. Because there are others, Rick Roth is doing stuff also. And there's people on here. I know GSG, our sponsor, has an event where they have a special HTV vinyl color made for, I forget what the disease is, for that month. All the proceeds go to that.
yeah.
I know on here, Val and Pete have done shirts for the truckers and stuff going through Canada, because Pete's from Canada. We don't hold that against them. But it's a Michigan thing on there. But we do have people that step up. And I know, Marshall, we don't talk about it. You have, that we do in our personal lives that we give to. But, and even as an industry, I'm not going to say the person's name. Mark Soldonic knows them and a few people. There is a rep that's been in the industry for about 35 years. He has come down with Lou Gehrig's disease, and the GoFundMe page, when his competitors and everybody go in there, and I know the company that he's worked for is really just there, and that's the exciting part. It's horrible that it takes something like that, but our industry, no matter what, we compete, we work together, we do come together still, and that's the exciting part. And I love that Ron set a goal, and it was immediately just shattered on there. So it's an industry, and as human beings, that we do come together on needs, and we need to talk about that more, do that more, and just lift each other up when it's being done.
Right. I mean, I think it's really easy to get lost in the day to day.
Yep.
Yeah, we got orders to get out and all that, right?
Yep.
And so, which is why I wanted to celebrate Ron and his efforts today with the show, right? Just because I think we need to do that more. And I know there's other shops,
Yep,
that are doing this also, and not say their efforts aren't welcome or warranted or whatever. So we just chose to do this with Ron, but there's other people doing similar things, and they're fantastic also. So,
and I think for Ron, we laughed at it's always a good day, and with you, and that's what it is. But that's kind of how you lead your life. That's how you do your business. You've talked about going.
Talk to my wife.
Well, I'd rather not. But, that's a separate program. We'll have her on next week. But it is. We're all of us are fallible. All of us have things, but every time I talk to you, whether it's online about fishing or whatever, it is always uplifting, and we all need that. And that's just who you are. Like you said, it is not, you don't feel like you do anything major. It's not a lot of heavy lifting. You just facilitate it. And that's an inspiration. So that's why we wanted to have you on, because it's not just a Ukraine thing. Since I've known you, this is who you are. And thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah, one of the class acts I put on, I think LinkedIn, when we were talking about it, I said just one of the class acts in humans in our industry. So that's why I want everybody.
He's not a very good judge of character, is he?
Horrible. Well,
Ron,
you think I'm a rock star, so yeah, it goes both ways. So, yeah.
It's evident.
Yeah.
So a lot of the reason for that it's a good day stuff is I have to remind myself every day. It's
we
like
all do.
that,
Yeah.
and so I appreciate your comments. Thank you.
No, but it is always inspiring to me, and yeah. So thank you. Every time I've talked to you, every time I've saw you. So
Ron, just shifting gears a little bit, how do you see the industry right now? Like, you're a small business owner. Is business good? Is it coming back? What are you worried about or thinking about, or just give us your thoughts?
Well, it's evolving. It's always changing. But the consolidation of the distributors. You were talking earlier about S&S, and they're a great company. We do a lot of work with them. but it's I just hope it never gets to the point where there's like 2 distributors in the country. That's all. It's just, but I guess if it does, we'll roll with it. We'll figure that out. So that's a little bit concerning to me, but it's funny. Like some days I'll place my orders and I'll get everything, and I'll be like, yes, we got it all. And then the next day I can't find Columbia blue T-shirts in size large, and nobody's got them, you know. And,
Right.
What used to take me 10 or 15 minutes at the end of the day now takes me an hour and a half, 2 hours to get all the pieces together. But I enjoy it. You know, you got to figure out which distributor, and you got to meet your $200 minimum so you're not paying for freight, and you've got to figure that all together. And it's but I see things coming back pretty strong.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've been to 4 or 5 trade shows this year, and I can tell you they're way more well attended than they were last year. And the people that are there are buying things and they want to learn. And there's a lot of new people who are just interested. They just started their business, right? And I think more than I've ever seen.
Right.
And I really think there's a lot of really fun, interesting things that are going on. And I'm very enthusiastically positive, but at the same time, I'm like, you know, as Mark Coudray says, I'm looking for the brake lights on the freeway to figure
Right.
out what's coming up ahead. And
Right.
And I think a lot of that has to do with supply chain issues still, and this Ukraine issue, and some other things. And if we can get past that, you know, if we can somehow manage to avoid that speed bump, I think we're off to the races.
Mm.
Yeah.
And if you know, I hate to be the old man, but back in the day, you'd order shirts and you'd have to get case lots, and you had to order 2442 size break, and you had to wait 10 days before they even ship them. And now we place an order at 5:30 in the afternoon, and we're pissed off if it's not there the next day. It's like a lot of things have changed, and yet a lot of things have stayed the same. It's just I think, like you say, the younger group that's coming through now, they have so many more options and so many more. I mean, the software and the I mean, it's just you know, it's good. It's good.
It's real good. And when we were ordering shirts back then, you weren't ordering them online. You were making the phone call.
Right.
And you're looking through a catalog.
Misheard you.
Yeah. You're looking at the catalog, and
Hey,
there's a whole
speaking
different
of
time.
catalogs, we want to share something real quick.
Yeah.
I think that's a good segue. So as you guys know, GSG is our sponsor, and they have a really awesome catalog. If you go to their website, which is gogsg.com, they have a thing called GSG Pulse. And I want to show that real quick.
And they have this for screen. They have it for sign, for all the different things. And there's specials for the quarter.
So are we seeing this?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
So here is the winter 2022 GSG Pulse for apparel decorating. And so this is just basically a flip book, and in it, there's all types of deals and specials. And moving forward, we're going to be highlighting a product or two a week. But for today, we just wanted to show this in general so you can get kind of a glimpse of what's in there. And you can see there's all types of supplies. There's ink and emulsion and tape, and there's also equipment, I think, in here somewhere. Here's vinyl.
There's your HTV.
Right, and platens. Right, here's embroidery stuff.
Thread.
Here's screen printing equipment and DTG equipment. And so there's just a lot of really interesting things here. So you can go to gogsg.com and you can click, and then you can open this little nice little handy book. So
yeah, it's a great tool. And you know what? I think I want to mention too on for GSG, they have started their training classes back. I know Mark Soldonic and I were talking last night, and he said his was packed. He had 16, 17 people in there for hands-on training for screen printing. And that's a lot when you're having the only guy.
I'm telling you, there's so many new people in this industry, and we welcome them because we have to replace
ourselves,
people, right?
Yeah.
And like, who's next?
I was taught that's the mark of a good leader. Who are you training? Who are you investing in to replace yourself?
Yeah.
And yeah, exactly. So GSG, thank you very much just for everything you do. And look on there. I know they're doing stuff at all their branches this year in embroidery. And man, they have some heavy hitters, I guess. And Mark, if you're listening correctly, I think Lon Winters and Dane Clement are doing art down there in Dallas today. It's like, man, it doesn't get much better than that.
Right.
So,
well, great. So let's wind the show up here. So, Ron, what's next for you with what you're doing for the charity? How are you going to hit your goals and stuff?
I'm gonna go on Q&A with Alan and Marshall and no, but I just want to make a comment about, you just showed one of those Zoom catalogs. So if you can make catalogs and customize them. I don't know if you go to S&S in their marketing tools, and you can have a flip thing with they just put one out recently. It's called What's New, and you can have that with your logo on it, and your customers can go and flip through, and it's pretty amazing. It's pretty easy to do too.
Such great tools for companies and businesses. So if you guys aren't using stuff like that, let's go. Yeah.
I use some software called Flipping Book. So if you've attended any shirt lab, anything, so all the event guides are made with that software. So
Right.
Nice. But so Zoom Catalog, you go to zoomcatalog.com. It's free, and they have different distributors and it's mostly promotional products. People have their catalogs up there, and then you just drop in your logo and your information, and boom, you've got it.
So Ray said, just donated. Great work.
Awesome. Thank you.
You got one, Ron.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And Mark
so
says,
one of the things I'd like to say about somebody created a fake Ron Goodwin.
Yep.
And they're targeting donors they send them an instant message. It has my picture and my name, but it's all spelled lowercase with little lines on it. And they're saying, oh, thank you for the donation. It's really great, but we'd like you to make an additional donation through Amazon gift cards or some bullshit thing. But it's just, and I've reported it to Instagram because it's a fake Instagram account, but it's just so disheartening that someone would pull that off. But
and they got a hold of
Russia, Ron.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
Ron,
I think, they're from, I think Nigeria, but yeah.
When I contacted you, that was through Instant Messenger. They got a hold of me and knew that I had donated, and it was like a week later, 2 weeks later. It wasn't like right away. So
so I posted that up, and now when people donate, I send them a thank you, and I tell them to be wary of that. But
good.
It's but
very good. Yeah, good for bringing that up.
That's good. So Mark says Lon and Dane were in Dallas yesterday for the art prep class.
In separation, great.
And then Frank says, yes, preach it, Ron, for the S&S thing. Hurley says, good morning, guys. Late to the show. That's okay.
That's right. We haven't said anything. We were waiting for you.
We won't put you in detention or anything. And then Don's here, says, hi, guys.
Hey, Don. So great.
All right.
So can all my fans, can they see this show Is it going to be replayed, or is this just done live?
No, it's live, but it'll be on the Marshall Atkinson YouTube channel. So it's just basically YouTube/Marshall Atkinson. That's where it is.
Yep.
Okay.
Link it and use it for your marketing and for
you're
all
gonna,
your
you're going to see a
absolutely
big uptick on
good
activity.
Yeah.
They can, and you know what? We don't say it enough too. It could also be, it'll be up on audio, just the audio portion on your favorite podcast station too.
Yeah. As soon as Lyra does that, she has to actually post it. So that'll be probably Saturday tomorrow.
Lyra is Marshall's business wife.
Nice.
His personal assistant.
She's my virtual assistant. So
yeah.
Let's not get my real wife all crazy here.
No. It's Marshall's virtual wife. They've never met. But yeah.
He's in the Philippines. So.
Yep.
Nice.
But, yeah. So anyway, so much fun to have you on here, Ron. And,
Thank you.
You know, I think you're doing some amazing things, and keep it up. Keep posting and keep doing stuff like this. And I think it really elevates our whole industry.
It does. And Ron, thank you again just for being an example to all of us. So yeah.
Thank you.
And if you're at a show at a shirt lab and you see Mr. Goodwin, you do everything you can. Spend some time with him.
My father has no interest in this industry.
Yeah. So, well, good. Thank you so much, Ron.
Thank you. Nice to see you guys.
Yep.
All right. So
squeegees.
We got about 4 minutes here. We're not signing off yet.
You know what? One thing I want to bring up, and I forgot to talk about it with you, Marshall. I was talking to Amy from Threadbare Prints.
Okay.
And I saw she was doing an event, just a couple local bands and giving back to some stuff. But have you seen, and I guess it came out a while ago, of a new water-based pigment made out of spirulina?
Made out of what?
Spirulina is an algae.
I haven't seen that. That's amazing.
So spirulina is an algae, and I guess they heat it up and it turns black, and they've made a organic pigment out of it into a water base. So
who's selling that?
Well, I have the link. I'll try to find it for next week. We'll get it. I just thought about it. You and I didn't talk.
That's amazing. I know people have dyed shirts with coffee and walnuts and all types of crazy stuff.
Is it edible, think?
Well, spirulina is actually used in like vitamins and stuff like that. I know that. But she said it's actually right now it's outrageously expensive. It's like $100 a pint. But she's going to be printing it. I guess the guys at Rockford Deli have used it some, and it dries real quick. But I just think with everything, we were talking about TiO2, so I saw that and I called Amy. I haven't talked to her in a while since we were on committee together. And I'm glad to hear stuff like that is starting to be worked on and tested, and who knows? We need to find alternatives.
Well, that's black ink, not white ink.
That's
still,
black,
really
but
cool.
still, yeah. So, yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. I'm a horrible co-host.
Well, originally pigments came from natural sources. Onions are usually yellow, and blueberries, and like there's all types of natural things.
Indigo,
yeah. So where colors came from,
This is actually mustard. The bottom line is mustard, and this is blueberry.
This is Kool-Aid. Blueberry Kool-Aid. Yeah. But if we really want to get technical, the minerals for TiO2 is natural, but yeah, that stuff runs out. And at least with something like spirulina, it can be grown. So interesting. That was something real cool. I thought
that's a whole nother subject. We start going down that road. It's like, why are we using more hemp, right? And stuff that grows incredibly quickly.
So with less water. So Frank Good, this is on you, baby, because you're watching. And Amy and I talked about that with the legalization of marijuana, and what falls under that umbrella is hemp, which has no THC value in it whatsoever, which is an incredibly easy crop to grow.
Yeah.
And I think it'll grow on the sidewalk. It's actually a natural pest control too. And shirts could be made out of it. We all remember when garments were actually made in the Carolinas. There were mills and stuff. And I wish and I want that I know they're all doing stuff. The garment manufacturers are working on organics and trying to be more sustainable, but we need to jump that up. And that's stuff that can be grown right here in the United States. Cotton has been the mainstay. Cotton takes so much water to grow. It's rough.
Right.
So
yeah, somebody posted the other day about Gildan, about, they got this big sustainability thing. And so I went on their webpage and I was checking it out. And the post was about, is this real or is this greenwashing? And to me, it was inconclusive because they have no data and no facts. It's all fluff about how, hey, we're here for the planet and that kind of stuff.
right.
But they're not talking about the science behind things. Are their facilities LEED certified? Are they doing anything with solar? They talked about how they're reclaiming water, but, there's so many other things that we can be doing, like reclaiming scrap material to reweave that into thread, right? Or just basic taking clothes out of the landfill, right? And using that. And, what is possible, right?
Well,
and I just think the more that we go down those avenues, because as we all, well, maybe not everybody knows, but this industry is this, besides petroleum, we're the second most responsible for pollution on the planet. Apparel
and textile, yeah. And
we have to own that.
We do have to own it. And
I don't think we do a good enough job there.
We don't. And, that's where Amy and I were talking. I have recently, just as I've gotten older and in this, I love this industry, 35 years doing it. We all have. We've been in it long enough. I'm proud of what we do. But when you start thinking, I support the two largest polluters on the planet, and then you think about pigments and inks and go on, how titanium is mined. And on there, all I can think of is, kids in diamond and lithium mines. I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know. We've got to do better. And it might take us, the guys like us that have been around to have a little bit more of a following, that can partner with guys like SNS with Gildan.
Well,
I know Amy and Matt Marcotte and a bunch of them were down at Gildan in Honduras. And Amy said it was amazing that she was invited. So I just think that we need to bring that.
Is she on their board of directors thing?
I don't think so. Amy is a great Threadbare Prints. She is a single mom, manual print shop, just always giving back to the community and just a great person. So we probably need to have her on the show too, Marshall.
Well, let's do it.
I'll do it. Yeah, I told her that. So I didn't mean to. Now we're over our time.
Yeah, well, that's how it goes, because we don't, we're still rookies.
Yeah.
This is our 102nd show. I still don't think we know what we're doing.
I don't want to minimize that was not meant to throw any manufacturer, any shirt company under the bus or anything, because I know they're all doing that. And that was no,
it's just we should do better, right? That's all we're saying.
We should put the spotlight on companies like Allmade and Threadfast and the ones that are doing stuff. But I remember when one of the big mills came out and said that the polyester in their 50-50 shirt was 5% recycled polyester.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's greenwashing. I mean,
it is.
If you got a gin and tonic and they left 5% of the drink, you wouldn't even notice.
Right.
So
what do we got? Some comments on this?
Yep. So where are we here? So Hurley says, thanks, Alan. Brian says bamboo and hemp shirts would be amazing. Frank says similar to bamboo. Yes. Check out soft shirts on the SSS website, all from Carolinas.
Great. I didn't know that. That's awesome. Thank you, Frank.
And then Sean says Hanes is great info on their efforts on sustainability. And speaking of Hanes, they're huge sock donators.
Yep.
They have a huge, gigantic sock program, Ron, that you know, they give tons of shocks to all types of homeless folks all the time. So, and they've been doing that for years. So,
it's the number one.
all right. So anyway, so Ron, don't go anywhere. We're going to end the show. But thanks for joining us. We really appreciate you and appreciate the effort that you're doing. So congratulations and keep it up.
Yep.
Thank you. This is on your way to you, Alan.
Thank you, Ron. I appreciate it. I'm honored. So,
all right, guys. Hey, we'll talk to you later. And happy birthday, Jack. Love you, buddy.
Hey, Jack.